And she's like, come on over. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, she looks cool. This is fine. She like cranks this like warehouse door. I was like, just right up here. I hope I have all my kidneys after. I think the only thing that happened on the whole voyage that was really scary, we almost got run over by like a tanker.
What's up, guys? So in today's episode, we have Kryssy on, and I'm stoked to have Kryssy in because I used to play music with Kryssy. We was just funny because I was talking about this. It's been like about 10 years that we've known each other now.
It's crazy.
And I was a drummer. Chris, I think, how did we start? You was trying to put a band together?
No, listen, if you want to get right into it, this is like a story that made me realize that I had a death wish when I think about it. Because I found you guys through a Craigslist ad that Lonnie put out.
Right. So, I mean, we'll jump into it, like, because I wanted to bring you in talking about like being a local musician. Yeah. So I guess we'll just go back to how we met.
Take it back. Yeah, I remember I was in college and I was like trying to get back into music scene. I was playing I'd played in Waikiki since I was like 16, and I was trying to like get a little crew and change up the game, not do solo anymore. And I was like, I don't know why, but I was like, oh, Craigslist, it's a great way to make friends. Seems safe, seems like a great idea. And I don't know what I did. I was looking up band, like vocalist. I'm like, this is what everybody does for sure. And then I seen an ad, and I don't even think it said like female vocalist wanted. It was just like vocalist building a band. And I'm like, cool. Phone number, no problem. Let's share sensitive information.
That was Lonnie was her name?
Yeah.
She had put that ad on.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I think we all had responded to her, and somehow.
Is that how you found them too?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's crazy. Because I'm over here thinking like you guys are just waiting. Like we're waiting.
No, we had all met at the same time.
Because then I was like, I saw her number, saw her name. I was like, all right, it's a girl. Like, I don't mind just like meeting her out in the blue. And she was like, here's a warehouse in Kalihi. And I was like, 18's a good year to maybe get killed. That's fine. Like, I'm just going to follow someone into a warehouse. I'm not going to, and like iPhones weren't at the point where you can like share locations. I was like, this is a non-issue. And I'm pretty sure I remember sending the address to my brother and like one of my best friends, and I was like, in case you don't hear from me, I was like, in case I was like, I don't fucking know. I went to like I'd go to Kalihi pretty often for like work stuff, for picking up, like we have welders and fabricators there that I pick up gear from. And I was like, all right, yeah, like I know the area. And then I see Lonnie out on the side of the road. She's like, come on over. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like she looks cool. This is fine. And then she like cranks this like warehouse door open. She's like, just right up here. And I'm like, cool. I hope I have all my kidneys after.
Was it the upstairs or?
We went, remember, it was like in, and then there was the little staircase that was just a floor up.
Right.
And then down the way and around the corner. And it was like, when I came in, most of the lights were off, and I was just like, I don't know, man.
What's going on in here?
This is it. Like, that's fine. Sweet embrace of death.
Why is there a stage and a stripper pole in this joint?
Right.
Right?
As soon as the door opened, though, and I saw other people and musicians, I was like, all right, like, we're not getting rid of kidneys and organs. Like, this is fine. This is like a normal, cool group of people just hanging out. And then, then I met the whole crew, and then we just kind of got right into it.
And we were practicing weekly.
Yeah, every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, that was a trip. I was 18, and everybody was whatever they were, which was not 18. And I was like, again, I'm among friends. This is fine. This is great.
No, but it was cool though. I think we all got along pretty quick, pretty well.
Yeah, right away. It was like, I remember Jong, he was awesome on guitar. And we had like Larry on bass. Ben was on guitar, also backup.
Ben was with us right away.
He came later, maybe.
I think he came a little after because we were trying to find a guitarist. That's how we ended up with John, because I hadn't put out one ad and found John.
Rhythm guitar, yeah. Because Ben was doing more rhythm stuff and John wanted to shred.
He was like a lead guitarist.
Yeah. And then Joe on keys. Which, we had the whole crew. It was good. It was a vibe.
Freaking Joe.
I just remember though, like, I think I came in and I was nervous because I'm like, I'm coming in acting like I've been in a band, but I hadn't been in a band.
Well, I think pretty much was the one like Ben and Larry kind of really had band experience. I mean, I did, but nothing hardcore. Like I played in a couple bands, did a few gigs, but nothing crazy. So I was still very much learning.
Dude, I assumed everyone was like 20 bands in, and I was like, yeah, I'll just play the part. Like I do this. This is fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had the pipe, so like you started singing, it was like, oh, there you go, we know who the singer is, and
cool.
It was all easy breezy. I guess on the singing part, it was easy breezy, but everything else was still kind of rough, trying to get everybody.
Yeah, I think because we started with like a 6-7 piece band, which is like not a good
pretty
starting.
Heavy, yeah.
And we like definitely didn't need like all the members in theory, but it was like we're trying to go big, and
but we just had fun anyway. And even then we think about it now because we didn't even get to play a gig.
No, Not one.
Not a gig.
But
you set up
I
like
booked a whole
two.
bunch. Yeah, I remember I booked us. I had us like set up to go at what used to be the station. It's not there anymore.
Right.
But I had to set up for the station. They had us like on flyers and everything. And then I don't even know. Everyone slowly was like, "Oh, it's my hamster's quinceanera. I can't make it. Oh, my goldfish has a black eye. We can't." It's like everyone had a reason. And I'm like, "All right, this is fine." And then even I don't know how I talked my university into it, but Chaminade, I was like, "Yeah, we'll play an event on the grass. We'll put up a stage."
Right.
And they were like,
Remember that
"Okay."
one.
And I was like, I don't know how we're securing
Ben
this. But
called off that one.
Yeah.
And we were all bummed. Ben was like, "We're
he
not
had a recital or his daughter or something. Yeah, maybe it was that.
It was. Ben
I thought it was.
kept saying he was like, "We're not ready," and we were like, "We just want to play it. Whatever. Let's just go have fun, you know." And he just, I guess for him, he a little bit higher standard because he came from
for sure.
I guess
But
established.
man, you got to start somewhere, and they always say start at a Catholic Marianist private university. That's what they say. All musicians, that's what they say. They're like, don't worry, this couldn't go wrong. Yeah, no, that was a bummer. But yeah, we put in our time in the practice.
Sure did. We did.
A lot. I remember that.
Yeah, it was full on. It was fun. Most nights it was really fun. I just like
for the most part.
For the most part, I think putting it all together was hard. But I just remember like 18, I was like, you're 18, so you're like, my life is a movie and everything's a movie on me. Right? Like, it's all about me. And I remember coming in there one day and we were trying to figure out, maybe like day 2, what our sound was and what our genre was going to be. Because the posting that Lonnie had put was more like reggae.
Was it?
It was. I remember because I was like, I'm not reggae, but let's go. I'm like a white girl disguised as a brown girl.
Reggae cover any song.
For sure. But and also I was like, man, there's so many reggae bands that do it and do it well. Like, I don't need to come in and try and be like, I can do it. And so... But I just remember, again, I was like, I'm in a movie. And I was like, John, give me A minor, F, C, G. Give it like a little plucking rhythm. And then it kind of started up. And then I did that rap song, The Push. And I remember we started out with that. Right. And once we got that one done, I was like, all right, that's one. On to the next. And we just kind of started spinning them and just like throwing it together. I remember I kept being like, yeah, Khalil, you'll get it. Just do the drums, how it goes. And I'm just assuming everyone's like, pro band action.
We'll just follow.
And you're like, right, I don't know the song. I'm like, no, it's good. Just do the beat.
Do something.
I'm like trying to tell everyone. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. Clearly, I'm the 18-year-old who's got 20 years of band experience. Like, just listen to me and trust me.
Yeah. So I mean, before this, you were playing music all your life, pretty much.
Yeah, it's. I got really lucky when I was 16. My mom got me a really badass guitar. It was like the one with the little hole in it. It's like Boulder Creek, and it was like a guitar that was not. I shouldn't have been playing it. Like, it's way too nice for me. I was like new to it. And, but I was like, well, I got to make something of myself. I got like a guitar too nice for me. So I should like handle. And I started kind of jamming and just teaching myself. And then, one of our friends, she managed this place called the San Villa. Her name's Athena. She managed San Villa. It's like Waikiki on Kanakapole. And she was
I know where this is. It's the hotel we're actually renovating right now.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay, so that's where I started playing. So I got a gig when I think I just turned, maybe just before I turned 16. I was like 15.
Let me rewind a little bit. You were playing before you moved here, right? I mean,
Well, so I was kind of like, I've been between Canada and Hawaii my whole life because my dad's always been in Canada. My mom's mostly been here for like the last long while. Okay. So I was kind of bouncing around a lot. So I was always here for like at least 3-4 months of the year with my mom. And it was, she had some awesome contacts and she was the one who was always like stoking the fire. Like, oh, just like, play some more songs. Like, play us a song. We'd be out at the beach and she'd be like, bring your guitar and play for us. And I would do the whole, I can't. And I guess I will if you ask. And then, so she set me up with Athena. And at that time, I hadn't really played live anywhere. I'd played at like a wedding or two for family or like a family event here and there. And then I got San Villa, which again.
That's cool. They had a bar or something before, that's why.
Yeah, it was like still a hotel bar, but I remember they had super good mac and cheese because I was a child and obviously that's what I remember. But and people would come in, we'd have all of our friends from the boats and just family friends, everybody would just come out. I heard the place
was a lot busier before because now it's not. It's
because
like,
it's the Wayfinder or something.
It's Wayfinder now.
Yeah, I don't think I've been back since I played there. Like it's been a long time.
Yeah, so the company I work for, before I joined the company, they had renovated that hotel. I got on it for a little bit, doing like a side job, putting up like the little signage for the room numbers and whatnot. And then now I work for the company and we're still working on that building. So now we're all the way up in the penthouse.
Heavy. Yeah, it's
did all the rooms, every floor, and now we're all the way upstairs.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if things change down there or if like the fact that there's not really a lot of surrounding bars in the area to kind of pull people closer to it.
They don't have a bar anymore.
Yeah, because even then there used to be like Mad Dogs and all types of places that were all down there. And so I feel like now no one really even goes to check it out. But when I played there, again, I was a kid, but we had a lot of people come out, and they were mostly family friends. They weren't just like people cruising Alawai, because, you know, but like, yeah, get in here, you have a good time. But I started playing there, and then, and then from there, it's like I'd pick up gigs in Canada when I was over there. Like, I mean, I graduated high school, and then I stuck around for a little bit and was playing at like bars and restaurants in Victoria where I was living. And then every time I was here, I'd try and pick up random gigs. And yeah, I was like, I always knew I wanted to do music enough to keep me like going in the passion of it. But I also know if I do it too much or like it becomes a job, you just kind of like, you don't look forward to the shows and stuff. So it's something that like I've had to toy with, like, how much do I want to play, you know?
Right. And I think that was kind of like my vibe with the music. I just wanted to have fun with it, not like make it a job or anything. But it was a bummer that our band didn't really take off, or we didn't even get to play a gig. I don't know what happened after that. Like we just kind of.
Well, I had to move is the thing. Remember, I had to jam out because I was
to go back.
I had every intention of us to just like keep trekking forward, and like, you know, with Ben and the guys being like, we're not ready. It's like, fair enough, we'll keep putting in our time. But then my dad was dealing with some health stuff in Canada, and I kind of was in this crossroads of like, okay, I gotta go back there and make sure he's okay, and like, you know, check in with him and, you know, be on site and whatever. And he's great now, he's good. But I ended up being in Victoria for like two years that were like good and bad, but I was still doing music. I played at this bar and restaurant called Earl's like every other Thursday and bring in like a huge crowd of people. It was super fun. Good. But that was like, that got me into playing consistently enough that I felt like, hey, you know what, like maybe I'll do this more full time than I think. And then I got burnt out of Victoria and kind of was going through like depression, and then a little bit of mental health. And then my mom was like, why don't you like, you know, hop out of Victoria, move to Seattle and kind of like have a little reset.
You went to Seattle.
So then I went to Seattle. Like I wasn't even there. Like I think I was there maybe 6 or 7 months, not long enough to just like reset and not like burn myself out, because I was working way too many jobs and doing way too much in Victoria. And then I started writing, and then originals came from there.
Right. This is where you shot the music video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it all started. I started, and again, writing a lot of like mental health stuff, like heavy topics.
That was was it a suicide awareness?
Yeah.
Song you did for that jam?
Rooftop. Yeah? I was like, hear me out, everybody. Okay, this is happy-go-lucky Kryssy.
Really
like, it's a song about me jumping off a roof, and I'm like, hold for applause, like what? Yeah. And I remember people being like kind of thrown off by that, but you know, people who knew me like knew there's like a deeper like heaviness to like my my thing
behind it.
Just behind the hazel eyes. It was a trip, but I you know, got into writing a lot and met some awesome musicians that were able to be a part of that process. Like recording in Seattle was like, that brought me like up in music, where I was like, okay, like I actually want to do this for the rest of my life. Whether it's my bread and butter full time, I don't know, but I know that I'm doing something I want to keep doing. Okay. So, that's good. And then cruise ships came along, and I was like, here we go. Let's go to the circus.
You got on the cruise ship. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, me too. I forget. I didn't do that long, like less than a year, but that was heavy. Ships
were. You'd go on this cruise ship and just go with it where it's going?
Yeah, it's crazy because like, I think when you see people in those settings, you just assume like, one, they know exactly what they're doing the whole time and like without failure. And then I got hired and I was like, okay, so it's training and stuff. And they're like, nope, there's a stage. And I was like, what? And you sing like 5 hours a day. It's like, well, it's 5 45-minute sets. So it ends up being just around 4-ish hours of singing. But holy shit, like you put your work in.
Yeah, I bet.
It was awesome. I think cruise ships is like such a cool job if you're like the perfect runaway. Like, you don't have to like not be close with your family or people on land, but you have to be okay with not having constant contact with those people. I call my mom 57 times a day. This doesn't work. I have a dog. I had a boyfriend at the time when I was going on ships, and I was like, I don't think I'm the perfect candidate for this, but I went and I still made it work. It was still fun, but I felt like I wasn't appreciating where I was, because I was like missing everyone else and wanting to be somewhere else. But yeah, like, I mean, they put you on, you're on 5 sets a day, playing all different stages, like big stage, small stage. You're in casinos, people are chain smoking right next to you for like these whole 5 hours. But it was like one of those things where you meet the best people you'll ever meet in your life, and you definitely wouldn't have found them any other way. So it's a trip.
That's interesting. So after this cruise ship, you came back here?
Yeah, I left cruise ships after a couple contracts. I had a ton of fun and like got to go to a bunch of different places, and it was awesome. But after a certain point, I was like, you know what? I kind of have to make a choice on like where I'm going with like my relationships and like being able to be around my family and kind of set roots back here.
Right.
And so yeah, came back to Hawaii and got back. I got involved with my family's business. I got married, and
Right.
that was like a whole thing, which is like a big shift going from like before I left for Canada when I quit the band. I was like interning with the sheriff's department and studying forensic science and criminal justice and singing with chord. And then it was like a huge shift to like music on cruise ships and then managing my family's business. And it was just like,
Yeah, you took a left turn there.
yeah, it was
That's right.
it was
You
a
just
big couple years. And then I kind of like dabbled in music. I was gigging at Hard Rock Cafe,
That's right.
which was fun. But man, no one wants to hear you scream songs at them at like 9 a.m. on a Saturday. I was like, get in here, we're doing Guns N' Roses. And people are like, no, we don't want that. We want pancakes.
that.
Like that's, yeah, it was hard to get people to show up for that. I still had a core group of people who would like come out every Saturday, but I was like, damn, it's a hard gig. It's
bet.
like pretty gnarly. Sometimes there'd be like parades on Kalakaua.
Like, put me on the nighttime. You know?
Right, I know. I did a couple. I got some night gigs with them, and they were awesome. That was like,
That's good.
you could feel it, like that was how it was meant to be. But yeah, the morning ones, I was like, all right, like we're gonna do this. There'd be like a parade in the background and like bikers going by, and I'd be like, they're on my backup vocals. Let's go. And I'd be like, man, this is nuts. But
no.
Hard Rock was it for like a good while, and like Hard Rock was sick. I would have loved to get our band at like Hard Rock. We would have killed it there.
That would have been cool.
It would have been so sick.
Especially if it's the morning crowd, just kind of easy.
Maybe not 9 a.m. No.
Yeah,
We're not doing
yeah.
9 a.m. Us over there. It's another fiery
Yeah.
afternoon. Nah, I think I would have been sick to get us in like nights at Hard Rock, because we kind of covered every genre, every style.
much, yeah.
Like we were doing it all.
Something for everybody.
Yeah, I remember we were doing that. What was that? The CeeLo Green song, the
Yeah.
"Forget You,
Yeah,
Fuck You" one.
yeah.
That was like our sign-off song. It was either that one or "Hotel California" is the one we keep playing rounds of it at the end and be like, "And we got Kaleo on drums over here."
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
that
yeah.
whole like rundown, which we never got to do ever.
We never did. Because we kept trying to focus on certain songs. Because
Yeah.
we had a couple of them like really good.
Yeah.
And then some was just like a little bit rough.
We had
on the-
probably four songs that we were like, damn, this is
Yeah, 4 or
killing it.
5. I think we did at what's that is it Only for You?
Yeah, Only for You. That was Tomorrow's Bad Seeds. Those guys.
Bad
That was a
Seeds.
sick one.
That was a good one.
That was good. I love that. I think I know
Rasta
that.
Courage we did good.
Oh shit, we did a bunch of Soja. I forgot we did
You
Soja.
forgot about that?
I
That was like
forgot.
one of our strong ones.
That was good.
Rasta Courage was
That
good.
was yeah, that's a trip.
And then I
I
think
gotta do that song.
we did okay with Flashlight, Jesse J.
Oh, price tag.
Price Tag, sorry.
Like
Wasn't
Flashlight.
Flashlight, my bad. Yeah, it was Price Tag.
Yeah, price tag. That one was sick. Actually, I forgot we did that one.
Okay.
That was sick.
We had a bunch of
Yeah,
songs.
shit. We should. I know we can still find that list. Like that list exists in our chat somewhere. Like
But
I saw on our Facebook even like it says in Messenger it'll show you like all your old groups. I saw Band and I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
It's
that was
still
it.
there.
Still
It's
there.
Still there, yeah. And I think you had the push, so you had always
Yeah.
had that one.
Yeah, we had a
There's a
we had a
couple
little
other
spread.
songs.
Like we definitely
Yeah.
could have pulled off like a 30-40 minute set if we
Yeah, for
needed
sure.
to. Like it was enough, but yeah, it would have been sweet. But then yeah, I did solo. I've just been kind of rolling solo the last like while, and then in the past year I took a break like right after the pandemic. Like obviously I wasn't gigging during the pandemic, and then after that I was kind of like struggling with like motivation. But then I did a couple songwriting sessions where basically like Olelo, they're in like
Right?
Mapuna Puna area.
yeah.
So they contacted me to do some tracks, which I was so stoked.
Oh,
on.
that's good.
My friend Tom was working with them, like doing some camera stuff. So he came to one of my shows and was like, "Oh man, you should do Olelo. Just do like one of your originals." So I went in, such a sick experience. It was like 9 cameras, super professional. I did the rooftop, the suicide awareness one, and it went great. It was just me. It was great. I had such a good time with those guys. And then they were kind of like, we don't, usually you'll do like one feature and like next season maybe we'll call you back, but usually they're trying to put lots of people in the spotlight. I was like, no worries, like one, I was stoked with that.
What is that for, like a show they had?
Yeah, they put it. I think it's the Melea'e. They do like this show on TV where they're just showing like local
Showcasing
musicians,
local-
and
Oh, that's good.
I'm over there like, I'm Canadian, please. And they're like, no, it's okay, you're welcome. So I was stoked because I'm like, I'm not trying to steal the light, but it was such a cool opportunity. And then maybe like I don't know, a month or two later, they called me or emailed me and they're like, hey, we have another chance for you to come down. Like, are you interested? Because we got to fill this spot. And I was like, I'm not trying to be greedy, but like, hell yeah, I want to go. And then I was like, I don't have a song though. Like I should, I have so many other originals that I've professionally recorded.
Right.
So I was kind of like, it'd be cool to use this as a chance to record something new or something. And so they're like, yeah, just write something, if you can. It's in a week. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, all right. And I write well under pressure. Otherwise,
Okay.
I don't write.
That's
And
good.
so I was like, all right. So I like sat down and like probably in like half an hour, I put together a song, super light. As we know, I like to keep it really poppy. It was like, I wrote a song about the ghost of a woman who's murdered haunting her murderer until he kills himself. And I was like, I know. I was like, we're just trying to keep it really happy. And I've been listening to like a lot of crime podcasts. So that was big motivation. I was like, they don't get justice. We got to
Inspirational.
give a ghost some justice. So yeah, I wrote that, sent it in and was like, what do you think? Because they saw me recording being like this and then singing the rooftop. And they were like, ooh, like, damn. And then I came in with this one. I was like, what do you think about the ghost murder one? And they're like, it's good. Let's go. So we did that. Loved it. I brought my friend Joe. He plays steel guitar and he made it super spooky. And we did this
That's cool.
it was so sick. So we did that one. Loved it. The footage was insane. And then I want to say not even a month later, they're like, one more. And I was like, fuck, okay.
Nice.
Like, put me on. So that was sick. It was like, this time I was like, I have a happier sounding song. It's about playing like poker with the devil. It's like pretty sick. I wrote it in a blues. It was like really cool. I send it in and they're like, yeah, it's nice. You got anything about death? And I was like, okay, you're on. And so I was like, fuck it, let's go. So then I like called Joe over. I was like, come to my house. And like in the 20 minutes it took him to drive to my house, I had it ready. I was like, let's
Nice.
go. So I wrote a song about like a bank robbery where everybody dies. And I was like, this is great. So showed him that. He loved it. He put his little, a steel guitar thing on it. We probably had maybe this was less than a week. And we did that one. And that one was put on like their actual television network, like on the main season.
Wow.
The other ones were like, they were practices, but they still posted them. But this one was like for their actual like Meliá season. So that was sick. So we got to do that one. And they featured like 2 or 3 other artists on our same episode. And it was super cool. But then, from that, I wrote 2 more originals that I would not have written otherwise. Because years go by and I don't write shit. And unless someone's like, we need you in the booth tomorrow, I'll be like, I got a whole album ready. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I just need someone to put pressure on me and then I'll do it. But yeah, that was a trip. Got some crazy good videos out of that. And definitely like learned how to do like, I don't know if this is like a real term in songwriting, but like perspective writing. Cause I was like, these things didn't happen to me. I don't even know someone it happened to. I'm hearing it through like a podcast story or thinking about like, oh, this story made me think of this. And I try and think like, man, how would this person feel going through that? And it's a fine line because you don't want to be like, I get it. But I'm like, I'm trying to get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was a ghost who was murdered once, you know, maybe.
And you don't want to step
So-
on anybody's toes like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But you,
Exactly. Yeah, I was like trying to just put myself in a position where like, because it's hard to write songs when like shit's good. You know what I mean? Like you can't be like, oh, I went to the grocery store and everything's fine.
right.
Right? You got to be like, I'm struggling a lot. And so
Depression, et cetera, gives you all
Yeah.
that inspiration and
Yeah.
motivation.
it's like if things are good though, right? You're like, fuck, I can't write about that. But you're like, I need someone to start a fight with me. Like,
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
But
Fuel the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, if things are good, it's hard to.
So, I mean, these guys, how does it work out? Because you wrote it, they record it. Do they like own it? Or, I mean,
No, it's still mine because they're featuring me. I mean, they the cool thing about it is since it's like a featured appearance, they're like, we're gonna give you the like awesome like this raw footage and the audio of it, and you can do whatever you want with it. So
nice.
that was sweet because then I put it all on Spotify, and it was like my live at Olelo little.
okay, so you're doing Spotify. I noticed your YouTube, you haven't really touched it.
Yeah, I don't use YouTube a ton. I wish I did. I feel like there's so many media outlets like that we have now, and I'm like, I don't even post on Instagram. Like I have a violinist I've been playing with for the last like 6 months. He's amazing, super cool guy, and he's gotten me into like finally shooting nice professional videos, little clips for Instagram, just to like show that
Right.
not only am I still doing it, but like this is what we do at our shows, and we play at the gallery and Hawaiian Aroma Cafe, places like that where it's like pretty popular, trendy spots. So he's like, we should be posting like what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we do that a lot more now. But yeah, YouTube is like, I want to put out really good quality stuff, but I'm also like putting the time in for that. Like my day to day is pretty swamped.
Yeah, it takes
that-
a lot to do all that.
happy to
edit
post
and-
stories and
yeah.
stuff, but anything else is like, it's a lot. But yeah, I'm on Spotify, which is nice. Still got all my originals on there, which is cool, but definitely feel like every couple years I'm like, damn, I gotta put something out, like something.
How do people find you on Spotify? Or do you have like a handle or something?
Yeah, I know you gotta look really closely for it, and that's because no one knows how to spell my name. Like I don't even know how to spell it sometimes. It's, when people look it up, it's Kryssy for Kryssy, and if you just type that in, the rest will come up. It's just Kryssy Samson Music.
Okay.
So not. I had a moment where I was like, maybe I need to be edgier and go by like Crisis and just switch an S and a Y. I was like, I'd be Crisis. This is great.
Right.
But I don't think people would be able to connect that if they met me. They'd be like, there's no way. Like, you're not.
You're not that person.
Yeah. Like, there's an internal crisis. It's an existential crisis. But, yep, I'm on the Spotify, and I got to keep building it up, though, because...
How's that working out?
Man, I make millions. No. It's so hard. I think it takes like 700 something streams to make $1. Yeah, I know, for real.
What?
So I'm like, yeah.
Ooh.
Isn't that trippy? Yeah,
Maybe,
so like...
maybe YouTube is the way.
I know. I was gonna say like some of the other outlets, they definitely take better care, but I get it because everyone uses Spotify,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like that's got to be where things are at. But I think if I was like a big time name, because there's so many
for
artists
sure.
who are like, I won't put my stuff on Spotify because they don't take care of their artists. But I think if you want to have people discover you, it's probably one of the better streaming networks to be on. You know?
You got to go everywhere, I think, in the beginning, at least, you know?
Yeah.
I think for some people, they just throw it on every media outlet you can possibly, and whichever one catches on. Okay, we'll start going towards that one.
You make,
know?
I mean, and you make like obviously way better like income off of it if you're putting it on like Apple Music and stuff or places where people buy the actual track.
Right.
But like when I posted any of my stuff, I use this this platform called DistroKid, and they like put it out to all of them.
Okay.
So I use that, and so it was like overnight. You know, everything was on Pandora, it was on Apple Music, Prime, everything, Spotify. So that was cool. It was like a one and done. But there were so many networks or like streaming platforms they use that I was like, I've never even heard of these. So hopefully someone out there is like gonna still discover it through that. But yeah, I mean, you can track your income from it. It probably costs you more money to have it on Spotify than you'll make off it if you're like little guy like me. But still, it's cool to be able to be like, yeah, come find me on Spotify. Like, listen if you want. You know, if I get 50, 60 listeners a month, I'm like, sick. It's probably my mom. She's got lots of accounts and she's just running my shit. I'm convinced she pays everybody to come to our shows. I'm like, I'm convinced that I'm like, no, like, it's like everyone's got some form of imposter syndrome, but I'm over there like, man, there's no way my mom's loaded enough to pay these people. So like, they're either really cheap or like something's up, like something's wrong. But yeah, it's like we'll be at our shows and people will be like giving us huge props, and I'm like, maybe I'm like not hearing myself and I think I'm sounding good, but like I'm not. And she's just over there like, here's a 20, thank you for being here. Like, you just never know.
Nah, no way.
But I mean, when I got on cruise ships and I was like getting paid to do music only, I was like, okay, I must be like, all right, like there's something here. I got a promotion at one point when I was on ships, and I remember my boss at the time, he's like, he said it nicer than this, but he was basically like, listen, Kryssy, you're not the best musician I've ever seen, but you got the gift of the gab and people really like you. So we're giving you a promotion. And I was like, sick. All right, cool. I was like, I'm not even mad about that. Like, that's
right.
Cool.
Yeah, it's something, you know.
Like, I'd rather just be up there talking to the crowd than playing songs, screaming songs at them the whole time, you know?
Do you think it's, I mean, I know you play a whole bunch of different genre, but is it like pick your poison on certain venues, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's some places that you got to kind of keep it tight.
Read
and
the
other
crowd
places,
and be like, I don't think these people want to hear reggae right now, so you got to
For real. Well, I mean, like, when I was at Hard Rock, like, everywhere I play, I've been lucky that most venues are like, hey, play what works for you, like, do your thing. Cruise ships, they're kind of like, make the crowd happy, which is fair. But what's cool is, like, if I'm in Australia, I got every age group, every type of person there. And, like, when I was in Australia, which was the bulk of my ship experience, they were, like, stoked with whatever I was playing. It didn't have to be a certain genre, but they loved rock, which is, like, my preference. That was sick. But then, you know, when I'm in Florida, I was like a mix of things. In Texas, everything's kind of different. People want different things. But ships, you're just like playing what they want, and because then everyone's happy.
Right.
But at Hard Rock, I was lucky because they were like, you know, do what feels right. The Saturdays were tricky because like,
It's morning.
yeah, no one's there.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm trying not to like generalize the groups in the crowd, but I'm like, all right, there's a military couple, there's an out-of-town foreign family here that doesn't know what I'm saying at all, and my mom's right there. That's great. I was like, Bruno Mars for you, mom. But you know, trying to like find the, you know, the range, what to do for people. But I was just trying to always like give somebody something. Now when I play at the gallery, like the guys there, they're so cool. Like the main guy I deal with, his name's Royce. He's super cool, and he's always like, dude, play whatever you want. Like I don't care. You can swear, you can get gnarly. Like, you know, kids are in here. It doesn't matter. But like do what works for you. The crowd will adjust. Like they're gonna roll in, you know.
Yeah.
And he's right, because every time I play there, I'll like start off, you know, I'll read the crowd. If there's kids and stuff, I won't go right into the dirty stuff, but I'll be like, heads up, don't stay in an hour. Like shit's gonna change.
Yeah.
But I kind of ease it in, like, oh, we'll do some pop and some country and whatever, and we'll eventually work the crowd. As soon as they're in, I'm like, cool, we can like open the floodgates. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're doing a bunch of dirty tracks and bullshit. Like you work with your crowd. It's like that's the funnest part is figuring out what they want. But when you strike out, you're up there like, I gotta finish the song. So fuck, like I've made a mistake. But yeah, I usually don't have to be censored too much, and like I can just go for it. Which is, I think if I was playing songs that I didn't like, I'd be done. There's no way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Be like, we just need you to play classical style music
my
all
God,
night.
that-
And you'd be like, I don't think this is gonna work out for
that would
me.
kill me.
Yeah, I think like also like even if they were like you can only play this one genre, I'd be like there's no way because like even for ships I had to submit I think it was like a 300 song repertoire that shows that you have every genre, and I was like great because I do like I was like I got songs on songs on songs, like let's go. That was sick because I was like that also helped me explore outward. But like when I'm playing for certain crowds, again, if I notice it's like a younger crowd and whatever, I'll try and play more recent songs or songs that I know they'll dig.
Right.
But it's like if I see one older couple in the back, I'm like, Hotel California's coming at you. Don't worry. Like, I got you. Like, House of the Rising Sun. Let's go.
They're waiting for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was like, everyone can
everybody
get what
happy.
they want. Like, for real. It's,
That's good, though, because then you get the freedom of just kind of playing what you want to play.
yeah. Yeah, it's super, it's fun, too, because we do, like, tons of remixes and stuff that, like, people will be like, oh, shit. When they hear the remix come in, they're stoked and kind of do anything. But when I was on ships, I used to joke, like, I was like, I'm going to put a sign out that says my no songs. And, like, it's not because I don't respect these songs. I think they're great songs. I just don't want to play them and I'm sick of them. Is like, I was like, I'll put a sign up and it'll say, like, $1,000 per any of these tracks. And it'll be like, Brown Eyed Girl, beautiful song, tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
Love it, but I don't want to sing it at all.
Right.
Like, Brown Eyed Girl, Freebird, Sweet Caroline. What was it? There was like two more that I was like, I'm not playing these. Oh, Tennessee Whiskey. I get it. It's great. But also
everybody's
like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's putting a cover of it. We don't need more of it. We just don't. Yeah, there's like, I think there was the 4 there. There might have been one more. But I was like, I'm not going to do these ones. There's no way. If people like, when I used to be able to do this when I was like 18 or 20. If someone were to request a song,
play whatever.
I'd be like, I don't know, I'm a kid. But now I'm like almost 30, so I'm like, I actually can't use that excuse anymore. Like I can't be ignorant to songs. Right. But if someone's like, play Freebird, I'm like, was that by the Beatles? I don't know. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Like, you know what I mean? I can't get away with that shit now.
Right.
I've been in it. You know, the Tennessee Whiskey, is that classical? Is that jazz? So.
Which version you want?
Yeah.
There's been a ton out there.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, you haven't seen enough of that? Like, it's such a good song, but I'm like, trust me, there's no way I'm going to do better justice than so many of these other people. So, like, just pull it up. It's fine. Like, if I'm covering something, I'm hoping I can give you something you haven't seen or something you really, really want. Right. But, yeah, there's always oh, yeah, I'm just in the middle of learning that song right now. Yeah, I'll get to it. But it's because I'm like, I just don't think I want to do that one.
Yeah.
But it's important for me to enjoy what I'm playing up there. I can throw in a couple if I get a request or someone's like, oh, this song means a lot to me, or, you know, reminds me of someone passed away or something intense. I'll be like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. No problem. Okay. But if they're just like drunk in the crowd, like play Freebird, I'm like, we're just not going to do that one. Thanks. No, thanks.
I didn't see you put a tip in the bucket.
Yeah, that's always
$1,000 in there, buddy.
$9.99 I'll take. $999. $9.99. Yeah, it's got to be. It's obviously like that's never been taken up, which thank God, because I wouldn't. If someone put $1,000 in there, I'd be like, I literally can't play Freebird. No one wants to hear an acoustic Freebird. I promise you don't want to hear this. But yeah, luckily no one took me up on any of those.
Nobody would probably.
Right. You never know.
Then we're gonna speak too fast. You know, some rich person's gonna.
Yeah, my next show will be like, so I want Sweet Caroline, then I want Brown Eyed Girl, and I'll be like, holy shit, I'm not ready for.
Show me the money and some.
Like
goes out of freaking wall.
Yeah, and then you can have any one of those.
Venmo now. Yeah, literally, you can Venmo me right now. As soon as that comes up, I'll give you whatever you want, and then all of a sudden I'm like, that's my time, and I'm out of there. Yeah, it's a trip.
So you're still playing regularly then?
Yeah,
at what did you say, gallery?
The gallery, yeah. So
Where is this?
So this place is sick. It's right on Kalakaua, right across from Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
Pretty like right next to where Macy's, I guess, used to be, because Macy's is closed now, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
But so they opened up like a couple years ago and like blew up, like probably the only major music venue in Waikiki now, like not the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of by that Tesla store.
A little bit before.
Yeah.
So if you're going like Diamond Head, it'd be like a block before, right at the Beachcomber. So they're on the floor level though, on the street. And when they opened it, they're doing like coffee and acai bowls and whatever. And they just have art everywhere. Like they're doing like super trendy artwork, like Banksy kind of looking stuff. And it's cool. It's a really cool place. But they started, like I was playing at their upstairs venue, which was just Hawaiian Aroma Cafe. It's super chill, a very trendy, warm, comfy cafe. And I was playing there for a bit, doing random like Saturdays with them, and it was sick. And then they opened the gallery, and when they gave me my first shot down there, I was like, this place is insane. And it blew up. Like so many like very well-known local artists here are playing there. Like there's like surprise, like I don't know if the Green did, but I know Common Kings and a bunch of bands have like kind of done these little cameo drop-ins and like,
Oh, nice.
you know, huge artists. So I'm over there like, you sure? Like when they're asking me, I'm like, are you sure though? I'm like,
Yeah.
did my mom pay you? Like, what is that? You know? But when I get to play there, it's so much fun. And because you're on the street level, people are just flooding in. As soon as there's some music happening, like they're in it. So I've been playing there for a while, and then they just closed the gallery. They're relocating, I think, to Ohana East, and then they're opening another spot called Secret Spot or something. It's still kind of unraveling the next month or so.
Okay.
But when that opens up, obviously hoping to keep playing there and do that, because it's the crowd is like exactly what I play for, you know? Because like there's people who play there that are there to do, you know, they'll have like 8-piece band and they're doing like kind of more like soul and, you know, pop covers, stuff like that. Like it's good, but everyone kind of does something different. There's a band that does like only rock and they're badass. There's so many different kind of cards there. So I don't feel like I have to like go in there and shape like someone else. I can just be like, you guys know what's happening. It's me. Here we go. Like it's mostly crowd work. I'm like doing sing-alongs with the crowd and trying to tell jokes in between sets and start up my comedy career. It's a work in progress. So it's not going well, but they're starting.
You gotta do like Adam Sandler and sing comedy songs.
Right. No, I was just singing that to my friend earlier today. I was like, his special when he did the We Need a Hero one. I don't know if you saw that one. It's so funny. I was like, I'll do that live in a heartbeat. But what I did there's a couple months back, I was playing at the gallery. It was like a busy night too. We had such a big crowd in there, and they have the whole thing too, like bouncers, drinks, like it's full on. And I had this joke that I told in a 2-parter where like the first part of the joke pulls you in and then doesn't really resolve, and everyone's like, the fuck, that was like the worst joke I've ever heard. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, basically, anyway, here's Wonderwall. And then I play the next song, and then what sucks is when I see people leave, because I'm like, fuck, you don't know.
You didn't get the joke.
Yeah, the joke's coming. The second part of the joke is like a secondary joke that pulls the punchline that should have been in the first one, and it gets a huge laugh, and everyone loves it. I've done it a couple times at some of my shows, and I've always like wondered like what happened to the people who walked out. They're like, this shit fucking sucks, man. She doesn't know what she's doing at all. Like that wasn't funny. So anyways, been trying to work in comedy where I can, and
that's good.
It works with my violinist because he's from Turkey originally, and he speaks great English, but it's really fun to like play off the fact that he doesn't have a mic on him, and I can pretend I'm translating him to the audience. So I'll be like, oh, Batu says he's gonna belly dance after this next one as long as you guys put tips in. Okay, let's go. So I'll use him to my advantage, but he's moving at the end of this month, so I'll be bringing in another friend of mine. I got a guitarist who's going to be joining me. We'll be doing duos and stuff because
that's good.
Solo for like 10, 15 years, and it was so fun. But like now I'm like, man, I just really like sharing the stage. Like I'm ready to put a full band. So if we're back into drumming,
I still have my drum set.
He still does.
Put it together. Let's go.
I got rid of everything but my drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Heavy.
Because at one point I was just like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna have time to play anymore.
Because you were doing bass and guitar too, right?
I had everything. I had guitars. I mean, I kept my acoustic guitars. Well, I gave one away, but I have one. Got rid of the keyboards, all my mics, sound system, all my guitar pedals, my guitar, everything.
Damn, that's like
the bass. Everything.
That's a lifetime too. Like that's a lot of stuff. That's crazy.
Collected over the years, but I was like, there's one thing I'm not gonna give up is my drums. I'm keeping my drums.
Listen, if you're ready, like let's go. Because it's like once you get a taste of like sharing the stage and having that like, it's like way more enjoyable, right? When you're up there and it's not all on you. Because even right now, like I love having. Let me add. Batu's from Turkey. His name isn't what we think it is. His full name's Batuhan. I should make that clear. He's fucking awesome. When I introduced him at shows, I know.
Wait,
I was like,
it must sound crazy when you introduce him and this is Batu and everyone's like,
huh?
Yeah, no, for real. This happens at all the shows, and then he's always like, call me Batuhan, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't call you that. I call you Batu. So yeah, Batuhan. It's been so fun sharing the stage with him, even though like, you know, him on violin, he's a lead instrument, so it's not like it's taking weight off me because it's like. It's like an awesome add-on, but it's not like I don't sing less, you know? Right. So it's still a lot of working up there, but I know like with every new addition on the stage with you, it's like a little bit less pressure, a little bit less stress, and I can like chill out and enjoy the songs instead of like not rushing, but like straining through it.
Especially if you put up on another guitar person, because then you can kind of take your moments to like, don't play it and have that guy like, hey, you know.
Hell yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You can just sing.
I'm ready to kind of share that up there a bit more and like build it. I'm like, I'd be stoked to have like a proper like full band, like what we started
Really
10
like,
years ago.
like 5-piece band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just something. I don't know.
You know how that goes. It's rough trying to find people.
I know. Well, and the thing is like, I mean, I got a day job too. Like I'm cool with it not being the bread and butter, but it'd be sweet to just even have something like a once a month thing where we're like, hey, like we rehearse once a month and we play once a month. Keep it tight. Especially if you get people who are like at that magnitude that they can just jump in on it. Because without trying to act like I'm the center of the universe, like if I'm up there doing my lead and you know, my basic rhythm guitar, a little bit of lead guitar, I'm like one, and that's the minimum. And then, you know, you bring in a couple other lead instruments. You don't need them. You can do without them if they can't show, but it'd be great to have them. But it's like, as long as you have your core, you're there. And then ideally like your drums, if you're going to have a full band. But even then you can do without if you can't. Like, I'd love to have it. But it's like, if something came up and again, you're like, oh, my guinea pigs quinceanera is coming up. I'd be like, shit, man, rodents. But that's fine. Like, go to that. We'll hold it down. We're going to keep the gig. Because looking back, I feel like we could have kept more gigs than turning them away just because one or two people couldn't.
Right.
We could have handled, but it didn't feel.
If it was like me, you, Jong, and Larry, it would have
100%.
worked.
Yeah, for real.
Because I mean, of course, you don't want to be like, you got the bass guy playing and there's no drummer there,
right?
And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you could if you're doing an acoustic set and you have like, you know, just play like an acoustic bass or something, kind of more fitting, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. It's like there is the minimum, and it's like the bass would be like having the terrible time
without have both of them together. Yeah,
that would be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think like when you get to a point where everyone can kind of jump in and jump out, you can. It's like book the gig no matter what, as long as the core can show up, the rest can float in and out. If it works, it works. But
or you just gotta have the people that can play multiple instruments.
Yeah,
be like, hey, we're gonna be missing the bass guy. All right, let's drop the bass and drums and just pick up another guitar.
Yeah, or you just go like have like really odd instruments on deck. Like I keep a kazoo in my tip jar just in case we need it. You never know.
Just gonna pull the spoons out.
Yeah, you just like, it's like if someone's up there, I don't know, my guitarist breaks his hand and he's like, I want to play something. I'll be like, no problem. Here's the kazoo. We're good. Like, don't even worry. Just play lead. It's fine. I only use the kazoo for Christmas because I hate playing Christmas music. I'll do anything I can to not book gigs in December.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I book a December gig and they're cool with no Christmas music, I'm like, tight. I can't do it.
But it's like you gotta almost because of the season, right?
I got one of my best friends. I always have her on deck in December, and I'm like, 3 Christmas songs, and I need you to sing them all. And we bring out the kazoo. We'll do Holly Jolly Christmas or some shit, and she'll sing it, and then she'll bring the kazoo over while I'm playing, and we'll run.
Nice.
It's like that's the most Christmas I'm willing to do. I'm like, it comes out in a kazoo, the crowd loves it. I get to do it once, and then we're good. I'm like my one December show. But otherwise I'm like, fuck, I'll wait till the new year. It's okay. They can wait. But yeah, Christmas isn't the vibe for me. I don't know why. I'm not about the songs. I think I get jaded when I'm like shopping and you have to hear it the whole month. I'm like, I'm not about this.
And you hear it everywhere you go.
Burnt out pretty quick on Christmas music.
Yeah.
That's why. It's like fun. Okay, let's have a little bit of Christmas music. Then you're like, okay, that's enough.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll play when it's not even Christmas season. I'm like, dude, it's serious.
I get it out early.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna start in March, just to put this in early. And we know it's coming. Don't forget to get gifts. Just remember.
I'll be like early November. I'm just blasting Christmas music.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, drives me bonkers.
You're in a drop truck and you're blasting with the biggest sounds you got, and it's straight up like Santa baby.
Yeah.
He's done it like in June. Or like even
it's on shuffle.
I'll mess with the kids because I have like
God.
a Christmas playlist on my YouTube. So I'm like, I'm gonna mess with the kids.
Yeah.
Put Christmas music.
Yeah, and I'll be like, what the hell are you putting on? Why?
Sometimes you just gotta get that one jam out. You know, you're like, I kind of want to hear this Christmas song right now.
Yeah.
Put it on. Then you're like, okay, we'll keep that away until November.
You're like, I just need to hear Mariah Carey a little earlier this year.
Oh no!
Oh man,
I know that song played out.
I know. I'll just be like, can we make someone needs to just make more Halloween music. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, I'm making ghost stories. I'm making robbery, murder stories. I'm like, let me take on Halloween music.
We don't have enough people into like that type of genre of stuff.
I guess
you know,
so.
like
You'd be surprised though.
Halloween.
Maybe.
So this is funny. So like I was born in Calgary. It's like West Coast in Canada, and it's a really cool city. And it's like Alberta, the province, is like known for like really friendly people. Like it's like a known thing. They're super nice. But people from Calgary are like, shirt off their back kind of nice people. And I was born there and raised there, and when I moved to Victoria, it's a little different. It's a little more like, it's not like hipster, but there's just a different vibe there. And it's a little more like take yourself too seriously, or at least that's how I saw it when I moved there. It's a great place, but the type of people and the type of warmth just shifted. And in Calgary, it was like Halloween comes around. People get dressed the fuck up, like to the nines.
Yeah.
Like, you're in school, you know, you're whether elementary, middle school, high school, whatever. People get dressed up. It's like a big affair, and like no, you're weird if you don't dress up.
Right.
I moved to Victoria. I like moved there 2 days before school started, and I was like definitely catching my feet when I was there. And October rolls around, and I feel like I'm comfortable with myself. Like I got my core group of friends, like everything's cool. And then I show up to school dressed as like full blown like Captain Jack Sparrow, full on. Not another fucking person in the school was dressed up for Halloween, and I was like, "This sucks." Like I was like mortified. But there was one girl I remember. I met her actually. I want to say I met her on Halloween. She was the only other person in my school dressed up. She's dressed as a pirate. Her name is Michelle. Found out she's also from Calgary, and she just moved there. And I was like, "That's my people." But it was like full on. Like I was like, "All right." One, Halloween isn't for everybody, and two, it's definitely not for Victoria. Like that shit was for Calgary.
That's
so
weird.
yeah, it was gnarly. It was a learning experience, but I was like, all right, I won't dress up ever again. That was it.
Oh gosh.
That was the day my flame went out, and
That's like the one thing that I used to love was Halloween, especially going to school and you get to be dressed up, like not in uniform. You don't have to be in uniform.
yeah, so fun.
And I was like, yes.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's like, I mean, I don't know. Do you do like scary? Do you like scary or do you cute? What was your vibe for Halloween?
No, yeah, it was more vampire-ish or
Spooky.
Yeah, more
spooky hot though. It was spooky hot.
Yeah.
I do spooky hot. That was my go-to. I was like, I'm gonna be the Joker and I'm gonna put on real scars, but like I'm also gonna be in like lingerie. Not in school. I started doing that shit more later. But Halloween was like, I was like, how do we get scary and meeting sexy? And we go for that. Like,
Right.
that was the goal. But when I was in school, I was definitely like, I'm a crayon. Like, look at me. Like dressing up as like stupid shit. It definitely wasn't like me being like, you know, there's fake blood all over me. I'm like, I'm a zombie. Like, it was
I
like,
would love to do that.
it was like the lamest stuff I could think of. Like I can't even remember the stuff I was. I remember coming in. I think it was like we had Spirit Week once. Actually, it was like my senior year. They did Spirit Week, and there was like Gangster Day and Superhero Day and whatever. And same thing. You know, a very small group of people were actually dressing up for it, and I would show up. I had my pants sagging, and I had my boxers hanging out, and a hat on backwards, and like nothing about me screams gangster. Like no one looks at me and like, and one, I can tell she's into hip hop. Two, she's gangster as fuck. No one thinks that when they see me. That's fine. But if you see me from afar, maybe you're like, rocker chick. And then I talk and I'm like, hello, how are you? And it's all good. But yeah, I was showed up for all the Spirit Week stuff. And same thing. I was like, as goofy as I could look. Like I'm like a certified goof. Put it on my tombstone, you know? Next to all my spooky songs.
I'll remember that on this video.
Certified goof. Well, so I started doing improv recently, which was like, probably one of the best things I've ever done, honestly.
Nice.
It's so fucking fun, dude. I was going to improv shows when I lived in Seattle and just observing. And I think that's where I kind of got the bug for it because I love the idea of like acting and performing, obviously, but I've never done that level. I've never gone to the theater side of things or anything. And so I would watch improv and I was like, maybe one day. And then one of my friends over here, her mom gave her like a couple week improv course for Christmas when she asked for a body scrub for Christmas. And I was like, those are equatable. Those are the same thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, just out of the blue, like, would you go with me to this? And I was like, fuck yeah, put me in. Like, we're going. So we went. Right before I asked my husband, and you know, he's a lot more quiet and like keeps to himself. And so I didn't expect him to be down for it. And he was like, yeah, I'll do improv. I was like, holy shit, okay, let's go.
Wow.
Like fucking sick. And so we went and we did this like 101 course. It was like a super beginner course. And then this 8-week course. We fucking loved it, dude. So much fun. Literally you walk in and you're like, everybody here, certified goofs. That's what it's about. Like you're like, no one has inhibitions. Like everyone's just there to like be a kid and like not try and pretend it's that serious. You know what I mean?
Good though. No stress.
Dude, it's like the coolest outlet. And so we did that and then we leveled up. We're taking the 201 class right now and like it's every single Tuesday. Like I rerouted my life, changed my days off so I can make this happen because it's it's like the best part of your week is just it's stressful because you're like trying to be funny and like make something out of nothing. But it's like you get close to everyone in the class and feel it out and it is like it's the time where you get to be a certified goof and like not ever worry about anything else. Like that's it.
It's good. So you're keeping yourself busy.
Yeah.
Doing that, playing music.
Dude, I'm
still working on your family's.
Yeah, I still run the family business with the boats. That's like, I mean, that's a lot. It's like a 40, 60 hour week on a minimum. It's a lot of work, but I'm known to like spread myself thin and like take on a lot. I always have my like main gig and then I have 3 or 4 little side hustles. Like I was teaching at a fitness studio like every week, and then improv every week, and then gigging every week, and then working my main job. And then after like a couple months of that, I was like, all right, hang on, let's fucking dial it back. Like, let's gig once a month. Let's stop teaching the fitness classes because I don't even have the time for that. And like, let's try and center it on like, what are the things that make you happy? And just because you have space in your day doesn't mean fill it with efficiency. Because that's, I'm over there like, oh, I have time, so I should. And my problem is like, one of my many mottos is, if I can, I will. And it's like, that has no boundaries to it, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone's like, hey, would you want to take this on? I'm like, I can, so I will. And that's not sensible at all. So learning experience. I'm learning to dial it back now.
So what, you guys, family business, what exactly?
We prostitution mostly. It's no, we
Boats?
do I mean it's we're prostituting boats at this point.
So
now
boats and hoes.
Yeah, boats and hoes, baby. We did it first. No, it's we run the big yellow catamaran. So we got 2 in Waikiki and then 2 at Kewalo Basin. So we used to just have the 2 in Wakes, and then last year we finished building 2 new ones to replace those, and then the old ones are kind of like retired and running out of the harbor instead. So we went from 2 to 4, and I got to sail one of them over from Newport. So it was like 18 days at sea.
Wow.
Yeah, it was trippy. It was crazy. I definitely like, I say it as if I'm like, yeah, I just brought it over. But I'm like, I didn't do it alone. It was a team of 6 of us total.
Right.
And the whole first 24 hours, I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. Like, this is it.
That is crazy.
I wasn't calm, cool, or collected like I like to pretend I was. Cause I mean, I'm GM and VP, so I run all of our operations. I do, honestly, without giving myself too much credit, I do everything. It's a lot. So I kind of also had to like hold it down when it's me and a group of like 5 guys on my team. My brother was with me, which was great, but it was like a fraternity I never wanted to be in. But it was fun. But yeah, we just like, when we pushed out of Newport and realized like we're going to be out here for, on the low end, if you're lucky, like 15, 16 days, and on the high end could be 30 or more if shit goes wrong or you're dealing with anything, and you just kind of go and hope for the best. It was a trip.
I don't know if I could ever do something like that. No way.
I didn't want to, honestly. I was
me
so
out in the
scared.
middle of the ocean. No thanks.
Yeah, it was we got so lucky. It was smooth and it was super nice. Like my husband did the first voyage, it was in May, and then I did the one in August. So the one he was on was freezing, because as soon as you push out, like they left out of San Diego, and as soon as they left, it was like frigid. Like you're in full on foul weather gear, like almost ski wear, and you still can't warm up. It's like that for the first like probably week and a half to 2 weeks, and it was only till they're like maybe 5 days out from Hawaii that it's like starts to warm up. Ours, fucking so lucky. First maybe 2 days cold. Then after that, it was roasting, like to the point where like we were using buckets to fill up these like little they're not containers, but like in the benches there's like storage space that are like airtight or watertight, so we use buckets to fill them up with salt water, and you just soak in there and hang out for the day. We'd like call it bird bathing. You just kind of cruise and try and stay cool, because you have such little water that you can't really take showers that often. You get to be really gross. I'm like way too comfortable being gross. Like as a girl who like washes my hair so rarely, I was like watching the men deteriorate within 24 hours. And I'm over there like, really? You guys, this is crazy. I'm like baby powder in the hair. I'm doing my eyebrows. I got my skincare. I'm like, I'm really willing to go like 9 days without a shower comfortably. And I'm watching these guys within 12 hours out to sea. The grease is pouring out the hair. They're getting acne. And I'm like, what? Like this falls apart so fast. So I'm like teaching them skincare. I did like a eyebrow session where I had each of them like lay in my lap, and I'm like tweezing their eyebrows and doing a little spa. It was super funny. Yeah, you work with what you got. I had to keep the guys from deteriorating. So
How big is this catamaran?
50 feet long, 30 wide. So
Not too bad.
I mean, you know, as far as like picturing it goes, the max people you could have on it is 84. Like commercially, we just do 49, but you know, it can fit 84 people. So there's space, but also like running along both sides, they're like, we had, I think like 8 50-gallon barrels of gasoline, maybe more, might have been maybe 10. I think we had 8 on one side, then we had 2, and then we had 2 big barrels of water that was like for washing. So we each kind of did like every 5 or 6 day showers like out there, and then we had all of our food rations and everything kind of stored around the boat. So there wasn't a ton of space. Inside, we have like a small inside cabin space where all of our like sleeping bags were. You just sleep on the floor. And on our voyage, we were bringing back this like massive mold of the hull, so you could like keep it for like repair work and like kind of like prefab whatever pieces. But that took up like 30% of the outside on the starboard side. So it was taking up so much of the boat. So
God.
if it wasn't there, you could at least walk around in kind of a circle around like the seating area. Because it wasn't there, we were kind of like, I was trying to work out. So I would like walk and then walk and then walking at you. And then there's 4 stairs. You just 2 stairs up, 2 stairs down. And I would just kind of hamster ball for fucking ever. It was like trying to move because all you're doing out there is like finding new places to sit. You're like, I guess I'll sit here for an hour. What's that? I guess I'll sit there next. And you're just trying to plan out where you should sit next during the day.
I get bored fast.
Yeah, you did. But what was trippy for me is because I run on like high efficiency on my day to day. I'm always thinking like I should do this, I should do that. And then on the voyage, it was like, what do I want to do? Because there's nothing I should do at all.
Right.
Like you have watch schedules where you're at the helm, you're driving, you're sailing. But when you're not on watch, you're like whatever you want. Like you can nap, you can eat, you can sit. A lot of sitting, try and work out, watch a movie. I brought a guitar with me and I just like tried to plug our way through my day and like find things that I wanted to do. Because I was like, you know, when you're at home and I don't know if you start binge watching a show, you're like, I should finish the show.
And then you don't get anything done.
No, and like also you're like seeing it as like I have a task to complete, but it's like the task you're completing should be like enjoyable. You should be like, I'm loving this show instead of like, what's next? But out there it was like I got hundreds of movies downloaded. But I was like, I'll try and watch one a day, just one movie. Try not to like kill too much time because not to get boring with it, but like my watch schedule was 8 to 12. So like 8 p.m. to midnight. Then I'd sleep midnight to 7:30, get up, do my next watch schedule, 8 a.m. to 12. And then the 8 hours you have free in the day are the times where you're like, what do I do with my time? Because otherwise you're sleeping or you're working. So in the daytime, you're like, all right, I'll play guitar for an hour. I'll work out. I'll sit some more, sit again, maybe tan. I'll bird bath. Like you're just finding ways to like, stay busy, but like what you want to do instead of like what you should do. It was like, and that's like a feeling I don't feel anyone can ever do in their like day to day.
Yeah, no.
You're not like, what do I want to do today? You're like, what should I do? I got laundry, I got this, I got that. It was like, what do you feel like doing? So it was, yeah, we caught so much fish, like too much fish. I was pescatarian for 5 fucking years. Came back from the voyage, I started eating everything again because I was like, I can't eat mahi. I can't eat any more mahi. I'm done. Like,
I was gonna say, I was like, you guys go fishing, but you must get just burnt out on fishing too, really.
We
quick.
caught like I want to say 40 plus mahi and like big fuckers, like huge piece. And like one of our guys, Alec, he's great. He would fillet it all up and cut it all because I mean like it's you can catch a fish, but like are you comfortable like cutting it all up and actually like finding the right parts, not getting the guts or whatever.
Right.
Oh, look at me trying to tell you about fishing. There's the tongue, and so you put it in the water. And so anyways, we caught so much fucking fish, and Alec would take care of preparing it, and I would usually take on cooking it. But also like you only have so many ingredients to make with it. We had rice, we had like frozen veggies, whatever. So we're trying to get creative. Like, I'm putting mahi in a hot dog bun. I'm like, this is a hee dog. And like mix it with some barbecue sauce and a burger bun. I'm like, sloppy ma's. Like we're trying to make like, any sort of like mahi combo we can think of. And it's like, once you have mahi for like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like as soon as we hit the dock and got back on island, I was like, get me a fucking steak. Like I need for the first time in years. I was like so ready. I'm like, get me back on chicken, back on beef, like everything. I'm like, floodgates are open. Like I still don't think I've eaten cooked fish since I've been back from the voyage. Cause I'm like, I'm over it. I need it. Like
so much
I need
fish.
such a break. It's crazy.
You'd probably take a bite and be like, ooh.
No, there's even like my mom's like, oh, we'll go Merriman's. Like they have such good fish and chips. I'm like, I'm not touching it. I'm like any sort of like white fish cooked. Like I cannot. I need a break. But yeah, so I started eating meat again because of that shit. So eye-opening experience on the voyage. Then I'm looking back on like trips I took to like Nashville and Texas, and I'm like, I should have had barbecue. I told myself you can't, and now I'm like, I should have. So
yeah, you should
I just have to repeat those trips now that I'm back in it. So yeah, that was the voyage was trippy. It was a crazy time. I came back like the same though, even though I want to be like a new woman. I came back being like, all right, what's next? Like, I was like, that's a task completed. We're done. Like, keep it on the efficiency thing. And I was like, no, I didn't. I think I took one day off when I got back, and most of it was just to be out of the sun because you're just like out in it.
Right.
I came back so many shades darker. Like I looked hilarious. I looked like
bet.
full Oompa Loompa because when I get tanned, I get orange. And like, so I came back and I was like Oompa Loompa, like ready for action. Like I was like, I needed a break from the sun for like a week. But yeah, full on. But I came back with like a new energy towards like taking on too much. I came back, I brought everything back on, and then went, holy shit, that's too much. And then I've been like offloading and like trying to find space to, I don't know, like take a nap. Like when the fuck, you know what I mean? Like when was the last time you took a nap? For real.
She takes naps all the time.
When was the last time you took it? When was the last time? All right, forget it.
I slept I went to sleep early yesterday.
All right, well,
So what was this? As soon as I got home from work, I was
Okay, so
like,
we're
I'm
prioritizing
done.
self-care here then. You're
Yeah.
prioritizing like getting your
I'm
reps.
getting older.
Oh, well, the kids
I don't
are
want to say
older,
old.
so it's a lot more easier to
Fair.
get naps in or even to sleep, period. But
Yeah, because our kids don't bother with us. You know?
yeah,
Kids would be,
fair.
they're like, I don't want to do anything.
yeah, they're at the
They're
age
on their
where
iPads, their video games,
they're
whatever.
good. Yeah.
Fair. I mean, I'm like with my job with the boats, I'm on 24/7. I get 2 days off where I'm meant to not be working, but all day calls and stuff, which is fine. Comes with the territory. But I'm like, those are my kids. They're calling me, and not in like a patronizing way, but I get calls all day long, and I'm like, there's no time to nap. Even if I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a 13-minute window, maybe if I'm lucky, and I really think about it, and then I get a call, and I'm like, all right,
I know. Yeah, when they were kids, when the kids were smaller, yes, napping was not an option.
yeah, I can imagine.
Only time I could nap is if they're napping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I can get a little bit in.
Yeah, you're like
Shit, I
30
got shit
seconds.
to do.
That's it. You're like a 30-second, just resting my eyes, just real quick.
Yeah, and then you think while you're closing your eyes and stuff, you're thinking about all this crap that you still have to do. I'm like, damn it. I
Yeah.
can do it while they're sleeping. Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
But I feel like even if you have the time, like that's a battle. There is like giving yourself the space to actually sleep and like relax, because like that's what happens to me. As soon as I have a moment and I'm like, maybe I could sleep, I lay there and I go, fuck this shit I gotta do. As soon as I'm up, I gotta do this, and then I gotta do
Much
this,
things to do.
and then I'm like, all right, I'm out of it. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gone. But yeah, after the voyage and after like having that space and time to like not only disconnect, because you don't have phones, you don't have anything out
Right.
there, coming back to it, I like got right back into it real fast, like faster than I thought I would. But I also like in the back of my mind was like, hey, remember, you can take time for yourself. You can choose the things you want to do, not based on should, but based on want. And that was like a big help for me, at least now. Like I feel like I'm pushing it more now than initially, but I had to hit burnout since I got back to then realize like, oh fuck, okay, remember what you learned.
Right.
He's like, chill out, because I'll say like I learned a lot on the voyage. It wasn't maybe so much about like the boating experience, more about like how to manage yourself, time, and everything.
Right.
Because 18 days sounds like a lot, but it went by so fast. It's crazy.
I wouldn't be able to be out there for 18 days.
You think that, but like I don't know, you'd be surprised. Like, well, I'm like I'm enough of an expert in my craft to know what I'm doing. I'm still not a captain. I still don't do I don't do proper sailing. I don't race. I don't know how to do a lot of that kind of stuff. But I know being out there, it was like it's not so much about your capabilities, and maybe that's just because we weren't challenged by our environments. We had a couple days of storms and big swell, but nothing where we were like, holy shit. And so I think I got a very cushy experience of bringing a boat across, and I think it could have been a lot worse, and I wouldn't have been so like, that was so nice. But we had one night where I think the only thing that happened on the whole voyage that was really scary was like maybe third or fourth night in, we almost got run over by like a tanker. And like, while I won't say it like I know how they operate, you know, because of how big those boats are and the momentum they have, for them to turn off you and redirect, it's going to take,
Takes a lot.
30, 40 minutes even, you know? And so by the time you see a boat coming at you, like on the horizon, you probably have 12 to 15 miles until they're close to you. And when they're coming towards you or you're going like a similar direction, you don't have, even if they're only going, I don't know, 10 miles an hour, you don't have that much time. And so we had like a radar system that would tell us if the boats were like registered on the radar, they'd come up and it would tell you your nearest point of contact is going to be in 14 minutes and quarter mile apart. And you're like, okay, cool, that's close, but all right. And you kind of monitor that, but you'd also have to decide like with this one boat, we could see it was coming towards us and it was pitch black out. Like it was like one of those, you know, night scan watch things where you're standing up and scanning the whole horizon. Once we saw it was coming towards us at the speed it was coming, it was super fucking fast. We were like, holy shit, we have no wind. Our sails are up. We got to put both engines in and go haul ass. Because if you decide to turn down, the time it takes to do that, you're jeopardizing minutes versus like fucking full speed ahead. So our captain and I, we decided like, hey, this is the call. The rest of the guys are in the cabin sleeping. It's like almost midnight. Just fucking pedal to the metal. So we rushed it. We're pushing. We're watching this boat coming. And again, it looks so much further than it is. And then all of a sudden it's right there. And our radar was showing us like our point of contact minutes away. And it's going to be like 100 meters. And we're like, fuck, a tanker 100 meters from you is like going to give you a lot of wake, a lot of pull. Even then. And we ended up clearing it by like 200 meters. Like you could have, a good fucking football player could have thrown a football at it for sure. Like it was that close where it took our stern. So it went behind us. And we were just like, holy fuck. Like that was like a situation you can't even avoid. You're in it. And I remember like Dave and I were just like, holy shit. Like guess we don't have to wake the guys.
Yeah.
We're good. Like, holy shit. And you just have to handle it. And so your watch is super important and you got to be on your shit. But that was the only scary thing that happened. Everything else was like, yeah, big waves, but you just have to redirect and maybe go off course or whatever. We dodged some hurricanes, but like we got a call like a couple days in from our like their weather routers and they're like, hey, there's a hurricane northwest and south of you. And we're like, hey, that's all the directions except for where we're coming from. So like, what the fuck do we do? And they were like, well, instead of taking a traditional route to Hawaii, where you're going to go south and then cut up under, you're going to want to go the northern route and then cut down. We're like, okay, but like, what should we be expecting? Like, that was the only scary part is like, this is a route people don't take, I don't think, like at all. So like, what the fuck are we expecting? And what we didn't expect was 40 mahi, which was great. Because the first voyage, they got like no fish at all. I think they caught like a little like aku or something.
Yeah.
Small. Our voyage, we're like, we're sick of fish. We're catching so many fish. We're throwing them all back. Like it was we called it the Mahi North. But we got so lucky. And that's why I can feel good about doing a voyage. But I think if I had a different experience, I'd be like kissing land as soon as I got back. But we had it easy. We had a really good one. Yeah, it was a trip. You guys should come out. Take you sailing.
I don't know. I'm not.
Not on a voyage, but at least for like a little booze and cruising, you know?
That I'll do.
Yeah, fair.
I'm not. I mean, every time I get on a boat, usually I get all seasick.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that. Damn. I was gonna say, just come out and just go fishing. Don't even think about what else is happening.
Maybe that's what's gotta happen.
Yeah,
'Cause
you just gotta be focused.
Yeah, my grandfather used to do a charter, like take the tourist shipwrecks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So he's like, "You want to come out one day?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And, everything's good when the boat's moving.
Right.
Put
Soon as
that
you stop,
anchor,
yeah.
you stop, and it's like,
Nah, even I would get seasick for sure.
oh no,
Dude, that's especially like, I mean, if you're on like a smaller kind of fishing boat too,
Right.
that like, I don't know anyone who doesn't get seasick on that, or at least a
because
little
it's so
bit.
small. It's
Yeah, like I even like my stepdad told me he's done all these voyages and brought all his boats over, and he warned me. He was like, day 4 on a voyage you'll probably get seasick, and I was like, why the fuck would you put that in my head? Because I never been seasick in my life, but I'm hearing like everyone does. And so I'm like, fuck, okay. And like day 4 came and I'm like, it's gonna hit me anytime. And I was like on edge. And I never got seasick. It ended up being like totally fine. I could see it could happen like if you're like reading a book or if
Right.
you're focusing too much on an iPad or
because
something.
you're not seeing the motion. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of had to like set it up in a way where you're like glancing and like kind of, or at least I did. That's how I did it. Because I'm like, if I stare at anything too long, even in a car,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel great. But I've never gotten seasick on a boat, so that's a plus.
Well, lucky you then.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
I would be done the
I
first
used
2
to-
hours. Like,
My uncle them used to always take me fishing and stuff, so we'll be there from before sunrise all the way to nighttime.
heavy.
And no,
Yeah.
by like the 5th hour, I'd be like, this is not good.
Yeah, I don't see. I've never done that, but I feel like that would push my limit. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like something that I've been blessed to never get seasick. But I'm like, I also think it's because I'm never in situations where people do often get seasick.
They
I'm
would
like
tell
sailing,
me.
I'm always gonna be
They're
good.
like, just go over the boat.
Yeah,
Go
Just
in
be
the water
fish.
and throw
Yeah.
up. And I'm like, no. Ew.
so is it primarily you guys do like booze and cruise type deal?
Yeah, we do we got like snorkels and drink service and sails and stuff. We kind of do everything. And now that we have 4 boats, like we're able to kind of the old boats, we like gave them full boob jobs. They're all redone, super nice. And we kind of do more like catered options of like, this one's more still a boozy cruisy thing. And then this one's like customizable, like whatever you want it to be. We'll take you out for all kinds of stuff. But it's going from 2 to 4 boats was like a big jump.
Yeah,
It's like, because we expanded staffing, but also it just kind of meant like more work on my end of things. And all of us took on more from it, but it's like, it's good. Things are like moving smooth now and like everything's getting busy, especially like
good.
pre-summer. But yeah, it's like, I'm finding my windows to like escape before the summer rush. Like I'm going to LA next week and I'm like, I'm just gone for 4 days and I'll be back and I'll catch up with everything I'll miss and it'll be fine. But even like taking time off is like, it's a stretch when it's like family business. You can't
Yeah,
just be
I
like
bet.
clock out, like deal with it,
It's on
unplug
your
it, plug
brain
it
all
back
the
in.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a constant thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a trip. But yeah, you guys got to come out. Just take a Dramamine. I hear that works probably maybe. Just hold ginger the whole time. I hear clearly I'm a doctor. I would take this advice very literally. Just hold ginger. That's it. You'll be fine.
Holding
Hold
ginger.
ginger. Yeah, just hold it.
Is that
Or-
like a thing they say, like a remedy?
It's something I'm saying right now.
Is it like the smell?
Well, they say no, not at all. They just say like drink ginger ale or some shit to like not get sick. You're over here like, okay, I'll hold ginger. I'm like, it also works as a suppository. It just depends what you want to do. Yeah, like I know a lot of people take like Dramamine and stuff, but I feel like some of the natural stuff works better for most people. But also the people who are like taking seasick meds are the ones who know 10 out of 10 times they're going to get seasick.
Right.
That I'm like, listen, I appreciate you wanting to come out and like get out there on the water, but like maybe it's okay to not. Like I'm not trying to turn away business, but like I want you to have a good time, like not a hard time. It's going to be so gnarly. They're like on the boat for minutes and you see them just go pale.
Oh,
you're like,
no.
you're not going to have a good time. But yeah, that's my bread and butter. That's my many hours a week job that I love.
So is this like people book it to do specific things?
Yeah, they can like book online. I mean, since we got 2 boats on Waikiki Beach, we're like front and center. Like you can't miss us. Our boats are yellow, which is like you can't miss them if you try, you know? Like I don't love the color. My dad loves the color, my stepdad, but like I get it because I'm like they're the bright. You're not gonna miss it in the water, you know. So yeah, it's easy. People can see us on the beach and come sign up or book online. But we kind of have like we've got like a really great local following, especially since the pandemic. Like before, it was definitely more tourist based, and then pandemic hit, and there was like nothing else you could do. And since we were under like state instead of city like bylaws, it was like we could operate, and we just had restricted capacity outdoors, whatever. So we were still going, like most of the pandemic, we still had to shut down like everybody, but like majority of the pandemic, we were allowed to be open and we were taking only, you know, we usually take 49 people. We were taking groups of 7. That was what we were limited to. And people fucking loved it. It was so fun. We had like local families. It was just a family. And they're like, sweet, we got a private charter, stoked. And then after everything kind of resumed, we were like watching our numbers and our demographics just shift from like, before at least like 70% tourists, and then it just totally shifted to like weekends. I would say weekends is like 80% like local, at least residents.
Nice.
People are just stoked to come out on the weekends and realize like even though we're in Waikiki, it's still not like just a tourist thing. It's for everyone. And yeah, so we were like, for me, that was like pretty awesome because I think when you're seen as like only like a tourist trap or something, you're like, fuck, that's like that's not how we want to be seen. We want to be like everyone can come out and have a good time.
Sure.
Like, it's your birthday, like get on this boat, like let's have some fun. So. We have a pretty awesome like following overall.
That's good.
And like I still get to go out sailing now, every now and then. I need to make more time for it because I'm in the office. I'm always working. I'm over there on Google calls and marketing calls, and I'm like, aren't I supposed to be sailing though? Isn't that the whole fucking thing?
So what would it be a possibility if someone was like, I want to book you to take me to the other island?
I mean, physically we could.
Right.
Do we? No, we don't do it because the thing is. Inner island, I mean, it's totally doable on like catamarans because they're like nice and stable and fun. But ours are like meant for like commercial, like quick trips, like just fun stuff. There's lots of companies that do it. But dude, like people who want to do inner island, if they're not like locals or know what to expect, it can be gnarly. Like it's like, I mean, you guys remember the super ferry, right? Like that whole thing, right? Like it was like, oh, this is a great idea. And then it was so fucking rough that like everyone was getting seasick and it was just a terrible time that I'm like, dude, inner island. The airlines exist for a reason. Like you can get a Hawaiian flight for $100. Like there's a quicker and more comfortable way to do it. Yeah. It's fun to do. Like inner island's sweet on a boat. It's fun to sail. But yeah, I feel like if people are like here visiting, I'm like, dude, go just hop a flight and go see it quicker and like get more time on those islands than just like floating out and trying to like hold your guts in at this point. Like,
but I mean, it's something that's like, say if somebody's like, that's something I really want to do, and I have the money to pay you guys to take. Yeah, I mean, like I got like 10 friends with me. We're all gonna just jump on here and
honestly, we've never done it. Like again, commercially, we could, but we've never done it. But there's some boats that are like, you know, they're like motorboats that are designed to at least rip over there in a couple hours kind of thing. But like, yeah, it could happen. It could be done. It'd be a trip though. I think too, like if you're going over in a boat that's not like a luxury boat, like we have like a recreational catamaran that we use personally as like our family boat, and it's like proper with like a full-on kitchen, galley, and like 3 little bedrooms. It's by no means like a yacht. It's nice though. It's a really cool boat, but it's like that's a boat you'd want to like sail the world with. Like you could go everywhere because you have everything there. The ones we brought over, like, you know, again, it's all fucking open. You're just like, well, hope everything's okay. Like if you get waves crashing, it's gonna come right through, and you're right where you're on your sleeping bags and shit. Like there's not really any protection.
Like a big glorified canoe.
Basically, no, for real. And I mean, like, we're lucky that on these new boats, they actually had like rooftops and like sliding doors at least. But like when my stepdad brought over his other boats, it's all just wide open. Like barely even a rooftop kind of thing. So yeah, it's like pretty full on. Like I'm like, I wouldn't fucking do that. Like there's no way. We're even when we were prepping for it, he was like laughing at us. He's like, you guys got autopilot and radars and all this shit. He's like, we didn't have shit. We had a map. And I'm like, that's funny. He's like, that's what he did. And like so many other people who've brought cats over here, like way back when, you know, a couple years ago. Now, like way back when, before all this shit, it was like, that's like full on proper like charting and sailing and stuff. That's something that I still one day hope to fully like grasp and understand and try out. But like what we had like a set it and forget it. Like, you know, weather routers are like texting us, here's your coordinates for the day. And we just beep, boop, pop, pop them in. And if the weather, you know, if the conditions weren't like amazing for us to handle it, or like the wind wasn't high enough, because we walked to Hawaii. We did like 4 miles an hour to Hawaii. It was super fucking slow the whole time. We had no wind. So with that, you're like, you might as well keep it on autopilot. You don't want to stand there and steer when you're not getting any wind or anything. But yeah, but we still had like all the tech and all the protective measures. We had a raft. We had all the safety gear in case shit went wrong.
Right.
And like, again, luckily we had a great time. But when he did it, you know, they've had a million complications. You know, I remember him telling me he had a hole in the boat that came up that he stuck an orange in it.
What?
It's like, fucking hope you just change the orange every day. And I was like, you fucking what? Like, that's crazy. That's not a thing. And yeah, just shit like that, where he's like,
that's crazy.
I'm over there like worried, what if we run out of band-aids? And he was like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's not a thing. Like, you make sure you just don't get holes in the boat. Like, make sure you don't sink, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I was like, all right, I get it. We're soft. We don't know. But we're in the now. So yeah, that was.
What if we run out of oranges?
Yeah, no,
we'll
I'm like,
catch a puffer fish and stuck it in there.
Put something, literally, put anything in there. I was like, we can't use our oranges. We need that in case we get scurvy. But, yeah. Yeah, it was a trip. That was crazy. I think I came back, like, just from not moving very much, because you're probably putting in, like, not even, if you're lucky, 200 steps a day on the boat, because you're just, again, we're just hamster wheeling around. But, like, I was doing anything just to like move a bit and stuff, and not like just eat snacks, because you buy enough food to feed yourself for like, even like, it's supposed to be like 130% of the trip, so an extra 30% just in case. We brought even more than that, because again, I'm on a boat with 5 other dudes that are like just fucking, I don't know, they're like tornadoes in a fridge, you know? It's so fucking gnarly.
Especially when you get bored, you just
exactly. And like I was like, I know what's coming. Like I was like, my brother's going with me. I know what the fuck to expect. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. So we had all this extra food, and then obviously we caught all this mahi, whatever. So we had way too much food. And even me, when I'd get bored, I'd be like, oh, just open up one of these. Oh, I guess I'll eat that. Maybe I'll eat 3 of these. I guess I'll eat 12 of those. And you're just fucking eating so much. And I was like, at a certain point, I'm like, just move your body more than you eat. That's all I ask. And so trying to move, I came back like, I don't think I like gained or lost weight. I lost muscle. I was like so flabby though, just because you're barely standing up. Like you're just sitting constantly. So it's like, I came back. I saw photos of me after, and I was like, I don't even look skinnier. I just look like I don't have like any muscle on me, like at all. Like I could barely hold my body up, is what it looks like. But
oh my gosh,
I'm being dramatic, but it was like, yeah, it was notable, because I'm like, I like to work out and stay fit and stuff. So I was like, damn, dude, everything just kind of like deflated. Like I was working on that ass for years. What the fuck? So yeah, that was a trip. But yeah, I don't know. Do a voyage, or don't if you get seasick. Actually, never mind. Don't do that. But like maybe hop an inner island, but do it on a boat that'll get there quick in case you get sick.
Right.
Like
that's true.
Because imagine getting stuck out there, seasick, for 18 days. Wow. I would literally be like, treat me with the frying pan every morning. Just fucking hit me over the head so I don't have to like deal with that, and then wake me up when we're back on land, you know?
Not too bad. Like when I would get seasick, I would just like either go into the cabin below and sleep for like an hour, like take a short little nap, and then by the time I get back up, I'm okay. Yeah, so it wasn't.
If you can shake it, but it's like, dude, imagine that happens and you're out there for 18 days. And
I wouldn't
like
be.
that.
No, I would.
That'd be crazy. Right? That was my fear. I was just like, what if seasickness is like, this is the year, here we come. Kryssy, get fucking ready. And I'd be over there like, I know boats. And then all of a sudden I'm just heaving the whole time.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah, that was my fears. Like, because again, he put that in my head, day 4. And I was like, fuck, here comes day 4. Like, it's 3. Tomorrow is 4.
Counting it down, right?
I was like, and then it didn't even happen. I had a episode where I did faint one morning because I got up too fast. Again, I'm not 18 anymore, you know? Yeah. But yeah, I just like stood up way too fast, went outside. I had a whole ritual in the morning of like skincare and you have a little bowl and you're brushing your teeth in this bowl and whatever. And yeah, I got up too fast, and all of a sudden I woke up like on my side, like on the bench, and I was like, fuck, that's not supposed to happen. And I was like unwell for the rest of the day, but yeah, I got lucky to not even get that kind of seasick feel. I thought at one point, one of the guys on there with me, I saw him puking off the side, so I was like, fucking weak, buddy, you got sick. And then I didn't know he's inside, and the other guys were daring him to hit 3 vapes at a time. And it's, I mean, I don't vape, so I was like, I don't understand, but he like immediately just like yacked. So I was like, I'm over there being like, at least it wasn't me, I didn't get seasick, like no one got sick. And then, no, not at all. He just hit 3 fucking vapes at the same time.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah, it must get a little crazy because you got the guys, so they're probably doing all kinds of crazy stuff
They're
to keep
just to
themselves
keep
busy.
And since it's a work thing, it's not like
Yeah.
we're drinking either. Like we kind of had like we're not bringing alcohol on this thing. I don't drink anyway anymore, but like we were just trying to keep it really like professional and whatever because that's what you try and do. But yeah, they're definitely trying to find ways to stay entertained. And it was fun though too, just like asking them questions about themselves that I wouldn't ask in the workplace, obviously.
Right.
Like I remember there was one day we were talking, it gets gritty because like I'm a girl's girl, but I'm also one of the boys. And so I'm with them and I'm just like, let's shoot the shit about stuff that probably isn't super conventional. But I'm like, we're all like, what's your number? And asking like stupid shit like that.
Right.
And I remember like at one point I was like, I'm going to be a little sensitive and just be like, tell me about your big white buffalo, like the one that got away. And we're almost all of us were in like committed relationships. So I was like, let me be clear. This isn't like a heyday to be like the one you wish you would have been with.
Right.
But just that person that you're like, I wonder whatever would have happened. Like that just didn't work out or whatever. And so I like probed that. And then one by one, they each were like telling their stories. And I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. And then we kind of get through a round. And then one of them would be like, oh, wait, I have one more. And I was like, am I a teacher right now? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear yours. And I was like, this is so funny. But it was just cool like having them all kind of like open up, and we'd have our bouts of like gnarly, like nasty shit we were talking about. That was on one end, and then other times it would be like, "When was the first time you were in love?" And you just kind of have every conversation that you would never get to have with these people. So even my brother, there's so many things I learned about him on that trip that I was like, "It's crazy." Like I know him pretty well, but you still like you have a lot of fucking
Think you
time.
know
out
somebody.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just, but you have so much time to just like ask the
Lot
right
of time.
questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a trip. And me, clearly I don't shut the fuck up. I'm over there like, someone needs to talk to me. Like I'm gonna talk to someone. I'll just probe them. Tell me about the first time your mom made you cry. Like tell me something. Give me anything. Like
How was it though? Yeah, being with a bunch of guys and you're the only female.
you know what? This is to get gross. I'll tell one gross concept on this. This is like a table topic, unless you tell me not to. So on the boat, there's 2 bathrooms, but the first voyage had something fucked up happen to one of their bathrooms and it didn't work. And then they got the other one clogged. And then they were basically like,
No
moved
bathroom.
out. Yeah, which you're going to be in a bucket situation, which is like, again, that's the nitty gritty, but they were lucky to have like really full functioning bathrooms. Anyway, so having that happen on their voyage, we were like, well, we'll just use one and then keep the other one in case. And so the gross thing about it is guys are fucking lucky. They get to just piss off the side of the boat. What a blessing. How fucking great that must be.
Right.
Not me. I got to use a real bathroom, obviously. So knowing that I'm using the restroom that they're only using to shit in, I was like, this is right fucked up. I'm like, every time I go in there to pee, I'm like, they're only coming in here to poop. And I'm like, this is absolute garbage. So that was the worst. That was probably like number one worst thing about it. By no means was there even any like really bad situations. But I was definitely like, this is some fucking bullshit. I was like, someone get me like a funnel that I can just, I'm like, the boys, I pee off the boat. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
But that was like probably the only goofy thing. But otherwise, like, it was cool. It's funny watching boys interact. I'll say that. I'm like, while I talk a lot, I'm also like, I can be an observer.
Yeah.
And just watching them like talk about something they don't know much about, which is funny. It's funny to watch because then they're over there hyping each other up like, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like I won't give a specific, but like imagine you're watching people who don't know how to swim try and pretend to each other they know how to swim.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and so you put your arm there and then the other arm and they're like, yeah, you put your arms and you're in the water. Yeah, we're in the water the whole time. Yeah, and you're just watching them all like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, these guys.
And you're like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, for real. I was like, I'm watching them vibe off each other on things that I'm like, I don't think they're qualified to talk about these things. But like, I'm just over there like headphones on. Like, I don't. There's only so much good I'm willing to do. But they're good guys. It was just like being on a trip with like a bunch of brothers, and like I have one, and he was there, and it was like watching them all just like figure themselves out, figure out what to do with their times, and it was the funniest thing was just me operating skincare for the boys, was teaching them how to take care of their skin, or just like the eyebrow sessions or shit like that. But I remember like standing in the bar and I'm using baby powder in my hair, just like DIY dry shampoo it. Again, my hair wasn't greasy at all, and they're all kind of coming in looking like fucking not again, just deteriorating. And I'm like showing them, I'm like, here, use this, and I'm like, here, take this peppermint oil, put it behind your ear, and when it heats up it'll make you smell good. I'm giving them all the details. And I was like, moments like that where I'm like, you guys are fucking lucky I'm here. And then other moments where I'm watching them cut up fish and I'm like, I'm fucking lucky they're here. Like everyone had a place, like everyone had their like little moments of expertise. And even like one of the guys doesn't really know how to cook at all, and we just had like this little electric griddle, and I was like showing him
Teach
things.
him.
Yeah, just like basic shit. Even just like, we don't have a toaster, but like if you butter this bread up and you put it in the pan, you can make little fried up bread, like simple shit. So it's cool. Like everyone could do something. And one of the guys had a film camera. We did like, so my watch buddy Dave, it was his birthday while we're on the voyage. And I fucking decided, I was like, we'll make him a cool breakfast, you know, on his birthday, but like we only have what we have. And so I was like, think about if you were in prison, what you would do with the things. And this comes from cruise ship era, because when you're on the ships, there's only so much types of food and you eat pretty gnarly, some pretty gnarly shit. And so you kind of have to find ways to like make food. And it's not nearly as bad as prison. I won't equate it, but you have to get in that mindset of like, this is the only resource I have. What the fuck can I do with this? You know, to make this something I want.
Plus, you guys had a whole ton of food anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
We had so much weird shit. And so I was like, when, you know, I asked him, I was like, what would you want to eat for your birthday? He's like, oh man, like French toast or something. I was like, no problem. So I'm like cutting up sourdough bread and I'm like, all right, I got egg whites. We can use that. I'm like grabbing this oatmeal mix and I mixed up this whole like prison French toast thing. And we like grilled it up, and then I used like cookie butter from Trader Joe's and mixed it with honey to drizzle on top. So we made this like cool little breakfast for him, and he was super stoked on that. And when we were out there, we had leftover pickle jars, and we I wrote the recipe for prison French toast and rolled it up and put it in a pickle jar and threw it over. I was like, you know, I was like shit like that. I'm like, I hope someone finds it.
Someone's gonna find it. I gotta try this.
Yeah, no, right? And then we put on, I think I put one of our emails on it. Just I was like, in case someone fucking finds it, that'd be cool as hell.
They might email you. I found your recipe.
Yeah, it fucking sucked. I'm like, yeah, well, when you're in prison, that's what you do. But yeah, it was just finding like little opportunities to like do nice things for each other, or just like, I don't know, like make it like every day doesn't have to be the exact same routine.
Right.
Watching the guys all like, some of them learning how to work out or working out with bands and random shit. It's like everyone had their little things and moments together. It was, yeah,
That's good.
It was cool.
Well, for all of them, was it all their first time like voyaging like that?
Two of them got to do the first voyage. So
Okay.
Dave was the head captain on my voyage and my husband's voyage that he was on. So there was both voyages had Dave and Noah, so they got to do both. It was it was they, you know, they had the experience, but again they were so different in like weather and the route and the just general environment experience that it's like, you know, while I'm sure there was a lot of similarities, it was still just like two totally different, very different experiences. We had. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, because like, I mean, you're doing fishing on shore usually when you do fishing. So when you do Facebook, but you know, I'd never dealt with this. I never really go fishing, but you know, obviously we had a line out and we had like, you know, in the middle of the fucking ocean, there's birds out there, which is crazy, right? Like we have like, there's albatross and then there's, I don't know what the other kind of seabird is, but they're fucking huge. So we're out there and there's this bird that's like diving at this lure that we have. And so I'm like, boys, bring it in. I'm not gonna be able to handle this shit. If something goes wrong, I'm gonna be a fucking wreck. Like any sort of animal stuff, I'm like super sad.
Right.
And then I run in and I grab like some bread or something to try and throw it and distract the bird. And as soon as I'm unwrapping the thing, I hear my brother go, "Oh fuck." And I'm like, it just caught the line, like for real. So we go over and like we're sailing. So we wrap up sails. We try and stop the boat because it's dragging this bird. It's got it by the throat. Super gnarly. I was fucking bawling. I had this like little DJI camera. I was taking footage of the whole voyage and I didn't take it out for that because I was like, if this goes wrong, I'm never going to be okay with that footage even existing. Even if it just was like, I can't. So you know, my brother and our other guy, Justin, they're at the back and they're like, holy shit, like this bird's getting drowned. And I'm like, well, reel it in really slow, but it's like hooked on its throat. And so Noah, he's fucking awesome, super brave guy. And he's passed out in the inflated kayak. That's what he was using as his bed. And I'm like, perfect. He's ready. Just push him out. Literally. So like wake him up and he's like in a daze. And I'm like, Noah, there's no time. And we just like fucking guide him to the back. And we're trying to tell him like this bird's caught on this line and whatever. So he's, you know, we got him at the stern and we're about to put the kayak in. He's down for it. And he's like, he's got his nipples pierced and he's not wearing a shirt. So just important thing is like, he should be worried about those.
Right.
But he was like, Kryssy, can I use your glasses? I just don't want it to get my eyes. And I'm like, yes, your eyes, of course. That should be the concern. But he paddles over. When he gets up to the bird, I'm like, holy fuck, this bird's so much bigger than we thought. Because when Noah gets up to it, its wingspan's bigger than him. Wow. And I'm like, we're all just watching. I'm like shaking. I was so stressed out. But he like grabs the bird by the throat and like the bird immediately like relaxes because it was like getting drowned, right? And he like unhooks it, slowly gets it set up. The bird kind of gets retangled in the line, gets him all set up finally and like pushes the bird away and the bird flies off. Totally good. And we're like, oh, fine. then Noah's like, hey, I think my kayak's deflating. And the bird like nicked the kayak. And so we're like, fuck, why would you do this? So we pull him in. He's fine. Like the kayak's slowly deflating. He was good. And then it was crazy because the bird left behind one feather in the kayak, which we were just like, that's sick. So we gave it to Noah and it's actually still on the boat. We taped it inside the cabin. So we have it there now. So that was like, again, everyone had a really important role on the voyage.
At some point, yeah.
And yeah, like moments like that
was
came
him.
in.
He was saving the bird.
Yeah, and then what's funny is like right before we went on the voyage, I'm like super sensitive to animal stuff, and like we went out for breakfast one day, and I don't even know exactly how it came up, but he was telling me the story of him like killing a bug or something, you know, something simple, not like a roach, because fuck roaches, but I think he killed like a spider. He's talking about like killing a spider. And I told him about this quote that I read, and I'll probably get it wrong, but it was basically saying like, if I'm killed simply for existing, let death be kinder than man. And it was, you know, from the perspective of a fucking bug you might kill. Right. And again, it was some version of that. And I told him that when we were out at breakfast, and his eyes welled up with tears. He's like, Kryssy, why you gotta do me like that? I was like, I'm not saying you're a bad dude, but I was like, these are the moments I think about when I'm about to kill anything, except for roaches or centipedes. Yeah. Fuck those guys. But, you know, anything else, I'm like, man, you never know. He's got a family.
Yeah.
And so we had this moment where he was like, again, we were all being like jokingly, but like really emotional at breakfast. And then when that happened on the boat, he was like, does that make up for the fucking bug I killed? I was like, yeah, no, that makes up for it. Like, you're good. Don't worry. That's fine. That's just like an add 1, -1. Like, you're back at 0. We're fine.
So I wanted to leave off this episode with like your music video. You own the rights to it?
Yes.
I could.
Yep. I own all of them. All of those.
I don't want to be like, oh, I put your music video in there. It's like somebody's like shooting down my video because the copyright.
No, it's all mine. I think if anything, I don't even know how it works when you do it where you get permission from me. Because when I first uploaded my own videos, because I'd set it up through DistroKid, it flagged my own videos. And I'm like, bitch, it's me. Yeah. I'm like, that is me. Like, what do I have to do for this? And I think I had to do authorizations on YouTube and stuff. I'm still really primitive in how that shit works, but I do own all my stuff. So yeah, you can definitely use.
We'll just do it, and then I guess if they flag it, then
I'll just
we'll go through the process.
I'll call my people. My people will call your people. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll go through the process of it. But thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Glad you had fun. You had some good stories there.
Thank you. I know. And in between the stories is me rambling nonsense. So
no, it's good though.
Cut the fat. Do what you got to do. But I had a really good time. So thank you guys so much.
All right, cool. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching.
Whiskey in his coffee, no cream, and he walks to work. His office stands high above the city, 50 flights up, and it's a pity that he won't see the sunset tonight. Ooh. And the people around him, they don't even see him. He sings, please don't walk on by, just say hi. I can't take no more of this lonely life. I'll climb every stair to the rooftop, and nobody stares or tries to stop it. goodbye in hopes it'll stop, but